Uh, Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to 814. Take a seat on our couch as we talk about random things that we've done throughout the week, or say so. And every time I do an intro, it's going to be very different. All right, let's go. How you guys doing?
We're good. I'm just impressed with your fake ass quiet storm. It's like, hello, ladies and gents. Turn it on, turn it.
I had years of practice.
Yeah, okay.
So, how you guys been? What you been up to?
I've been amazing.
Working.
Working.
You summarize.
I believe yesterday, Panic, was your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Headache.
Birthday,
Happy birthday. Belated.
Close enough.
Close enough.
So, I believe everyone had somewhat an eventful week for us to talk about. And I guess we're going to go in the same order as we did before, where, I start off, then it goes to Anima, then it goes to Skeptic.
I can go first.
Oh, you?
I can go first.
Skeptic wants to go first. Oh my god. No.
Well, only because I feel like my topic is equally interesting, but the least entertaining.
I mean, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that.
So, in you guys' opinion, what game is the ultimate crossover?
Probably.
Y'all already thinking about this?
It's kind of hard for me.
No, it's not.
Cause
Stop.
Listen. If I said Super Smash Brothers, right?
It obviously is.
I mean, if I said Super Smash Brothers, right, that would denounce the fact that Marvel and Capcom didn't come together to create something glorious.
But
you know
wait,
what?
does it have to be a fighting game?
You're right.
Marvel? What?
No,
Marvel
I
vs.
mean,
Capcom.
does the best crossover have to be a fighting game?
I mean, yeah, he's right. It doesn't have to be a
No,
fighting game.
I didn't specify. No, but I just assumed that you were all gonna say Smash Brothers, and then I was gonna say, okay, so what's the next best one?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But, I mean,
In my opinion, the next best one is Dissidia, and I'm not saying that out of bias. The franchise as a whole, or at least, the PSP games.
Oh yeah,
Slight-
they're not included.
Yeah.
I guess.
Wait, we gonna get there.
I guess that
But
counts.
it came out the woodwork. No one said anything about a Final Fantasy crossover fighting game. It was probably discussed before, but until the first Dissidia came out, it wasn't on my brain. I don't know about you guys.
I mean,
No.
it wasn't, but
And yet it turned out to be such a beautiful thing. Such a fantastic thing.
it was until they
What?
said.
What happened? What happened to Dissidia?
Anybody else want it? Because I talked about this before. Anybody else wants to go on
Nothing
before I say
bad
something?
particularly.
They just took
Panic.
a different route and felt that that was the best case for NT. And then they made a mobile game, and in my opinion, that completely overshadowed NT. So, two different routes, one worked, one didn't.
But I guess my real question is, why would they make the decision to alienate their player base like that when your franchise started out as such?
Bruh, I don't know.
Square Enix is Okay, we have to remember that Square Enix is not. They don't really care. Really, the upper corporate types don't really have knowledge in terms of gameplay, gamer base. They don't. They just think about how much this is going to cost them and how much they're going to get back in revenue. So what they were thinking was, okay, the arcade scene in Japan is doing very well because that's their home place, and that right right now, the city in the arcades is doing well. It's doing all right. On the console, on the other hand, they don't think about the ramifications on online, overseas, and how the fighting game community actually thinks. So they just cobble together a plan so that it can just enter the scene, which is the reason why in every single article where they were talking about when it was debuting, they were like, hey, this is going to be an esports ready game. Meanwhile, the esports is like, nah, bro. It's not working out. This is just not working out.
But I would agree more with that if like the NT style. The NT style. Okay. if that came first, no, we're not doing this. If that came first, or like earlier on, that'd be different. Right? The first two games are widely successful for 1v1s in the format that it is. They know that it's successful. They know for a fact it's successful. If NT came out like that, if it was exactly the same, just with PS4 graphics and more characters, no one would have said anything. I'm just trying to understand the unnecessary risk. I just felt like it was an unnecessary risk. I just don't feel like it was necessary.
There's a lot. There's a lot to it, right?
I mean, I'm gonna get into this later because this is part of my topic. But Final Fantasy VII was an unnecessary take on the storyline, but apparently it was received very well, which I'll explain why later on my topic. But just pointing that out there.
I don't know. It just, some things are easy. Like some things are really hard. Some things are easy. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 style game, easy, and yet it does not exist. Why? Why is there only one Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
I don't know. These are hard questions, man. Capcom versus Sunoco that's.
You know what? You're right. I'll give you that. You're right. Tatsunoko.
It kind of feels like the very first of the Marvel 3 series. You know what I mean? Like that's when it started to get all 3D on us, and the physics were different.
I felt like it played more.
First strike feel to it.
Oh, I felt like it played a little more similar to Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Like the look isn't the same as 2, but the feeling of it.
That's fine. It was just the feeling, and then what is it like? Infinite? I don't even know. Like it's
3.
It's technically. I'm just baffled at the unnecessary risk that these companies take sometimes. It truly baffles me. Like maybe I'm not the most adventurous person, and it's hard for me to empathize. But Marvel vs. Capcom 4, that looks like Marvel vs. Capcom 4, but plays like 2, easy money, easy clap.
Wait, isn't that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite?
No.
Infinite's not a number, so.
Listen.
You do not do that, sir.
Infinite was not the one.
I know it's not the one, but I think their intent was to be like, it's not 4, but we're gonna make it better than the numbers, which is the reason for the Infinity Stones.
No, Infinite was MVC MCU. That's what that was.
Basically.
MC. Oh yeah.
Wait, hold on. Say that again. I like that. Wait, hold on. MVC what?
MVC MCU.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much, because it's like they were having a problem with Fox until they bought out Fox.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's that issue. It's just a whole nother.
There was like no X-Men in it, even though Wolverine is literally on the front of every single other game.
Let's just say Let's just say businesses and businessmen, or just businesses in general, not just businessmen. If we're going to be equal about this, they ruined games.
I'm just saying. They're focused on making money. The city of Marvel vs. Capcom were situations where that money would have been very, very, very easily obtained.
You're not rushing.
I'm just saying. Yes, exactly.
I don't think there was any reason for. Okay, if we're gonna get back to like, if this goes back to like Dissidia, it was definitely just the businesses thinking that they know how to make more money. Thus, the reason why Dissidia came out the way it was is because they were thinking about the arcade and how arcade would be great on consoles. But what they don't know is that consoles are incredibly different from the arcade. And you can't just translate that over. Because, for one thing, in the arcade, when you're in a 3v3 situation in Dissidia, you're literally sitting next to your partners. Like, they're right next to you, so you can talk to them, saying like, hey, I'm going over here, or hey, I'm going over here. Because I actually, if you saw a picture of the, of what their arcades look like, your partners are literally sitting next to each other. And they are. It was a very good situation because, like, on the other side, those are the people who you're going against. So it made for a good-looking esports kind of thing. But you can't count that as something for console. Who, you know, at this point in time, you just be talking over the mic, and even in Japan, you're not sitting next to your friend. There is no multi-screen kind of thing like you do in, like Mortal Kombat, Super Smash Brothers, any fighting game really, which is one of the reasons why it failed on the console too, because it didn't have like a split screen. So there's like a whole bunch of things. The reason why that particular Dissidia failed.
Hold up, one second. The game, I know what you're trying to say, but I just need to point this out. The games you just said don't have split screen.
Super Smash. I mean, that's one screen.
It's on the. Yeah, but it's on when you're playing in a tournament. You have your own TV. You telling me that NT didn't have a LAN type thing they could do?
Depending on like the game. Like, they all have one screen, right? Not split screen. I should probably fix that. No, they have one screen, right? And you can literally sit next to the person who you're going against, which they did in the past. You sit next to them. But as of like right now, the reason why they separate the players is because they were disrupting each other. And they were kind of had to deal with that situation, so they split the screen, so it was in two different TVs. So like in Smash Brothers, they put one person on the other side of the other. They really didn't have to do that, but they did it so that both players can concentrate. Plus coaches, strategy, they do that for everything. For NT, you needed two different consoles, where all the others was only one console. And you have to translate the two different consoles via the internet or an Ethernet cable. But that wasn't always easy when it came to like the PlayStation 4, which I'm pretty sure that's all Dissidia was on. And they could do it on the PC, honestly. But the PC version didn't come out during the tournament time. It was the PlayStation 4 that came out first, then PC while it was failing. But I see what you're getting at. It's just that Dissidia NT had too many problems, including the whole, like, if we wanted to go against, which they did, by the way. Don't get this wrong. They actually have it at Evo, but it was one of the smaller stands. It was one of the smaller ones, and it hardly had anybody there.
Was it 1v1 or a 3v3?
It was a 3v3.
Oh.
Because that's how the game functioned. They did.
Yeah.
It was 3v3. 1v1s just didn't work out. And Square just doesn't understand that Dissidia was in the beginning 1v1.
Yeah.
And
that into a esport wasn't probably the best play.
And like Dissidia Duodecim did something genius by adding assists. And NT missed out on that because you had three characters, right? But what if you just had one character with two assists? Kind of like, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is a highly successful tournament game that had, put Marvel vs. Capcom Marvel vs. Capcom 2 put it on the map. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 just stretched it out a little bit more.
And we won't talk about Infinite.
I guess we're not going to talk about Infinite. But how it failed, there's so many reasons, man. And honestly, I wish that I was smart enough to take the game and just restructure it into the game that we all want.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you there because it's we're pretty much in the age of if they can't do it, you got to do it yourself. And if you know if you know how to, just take it, make it. Don't market it as what it is. Just put it out there. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I kind of wish I could do it too. We might have to go back to school for that.
We're putting ourselves in the debt over.
I don't know. You could just go online and start learning stuff, and you can learn from there.
True. You know, EDX is an app and a website that you can use to take free college courses. No, we are not sponsored.
Did you know that you can take college courses online?
Yeah, you absolutely. You can though, seriously. ADX is a website where you can get Harvard's courses. You can actually sign up for them. You can go online and do the thing. Who knows? Maybe eventually we could get sponsored if we talk about them enough.
It's a possibility, yeah.
Make sure you type in the code APT814.
But yeah, if you're looking to learn how to do something without having to dish out the sheer amount of cash it takes to get into your industry, check EDX. They might have a college course for you where you can actually learn on your own pace online. So know that nasty COVID, and then you can always learn something and then get your degree virtually, and then you can get out there, because I know we're all kind of hurting for a job right now in general. So maybe now's the time to learn a specialized skill to help you get ahead in your life.
That was our advertisement of the day. Thank you, Anima. I'm sure we're going to get 13 cents per second. You were talking about that?
Sure.
Right at the 15-minute mark, too.
I know.
Yeah.
You gotta practice. We're gonna eventually be doing that, right? I know I want to do some.
So, who wants to bring up the next subject?
I'll go.
Sweet.
So I just obviously I knew about the Game Awards, but I've never actually been on a site where you could vote for it.
Mm-hmm.
So last night, and I posted it. I posted it in Discord chat. Last night and this morning, I went on the site for it. And hold on, where's this? And I just want to point a few things out. First of all, I need to look something up. But while I'm pointing that out, so I just want to point a few things out. And this is the first thing is Skeptic. When I mentioned Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII is up here for nominee for Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Score and Music, and I think that's it.
Wait.
Oh, and best RPG, Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy VII.
What? Oh, the remake.
Yeah, the remake.
Oh.
It's up here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think 7. It's nominated for 7 titles on up here, and I'm just like, holy, what the? And then it's not the only one that's nominated for multiple titles. Let's see, Last of Us Part 2 is. Freaking Animal Crossing is up here for two separate titles. Game of the Year being one of them, and Doom Eternal's up here for like 5, nominated for like 5 titles as well. I'm just like,
I'm also noticing some things that just doesn't seem to equate to me. Like, all right, Pokemon Cafe for best mobile.
I know.
Wait,
for best mobile too.
Yeah. And you mentioned mobile. I'm sorry. I think you mentioned mobile. Freaking Genshin Impact is up here for mobile and best RPG. I was like, wow.
Well, yes,
I can actually competing with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Holy.
Wait. Are you kidding?
Best
RPG. It just came out.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, wow.
What kind of what? No, that doesn't. Okay, I think they're just running out of they're just running out of games.
Well,
There's no way. Yeah, you're right. Oh well, Persona 5, that makes sense. That makes sense.
No.
Yakuza just came out, so I have no idea why that's up there.
I don't know. Game of the Year is kind of a hard choice right now. Like, I want to give it to Animal Crossing New Horizons because that game literally saved lives.
Yeah, because you know what? A lot of
They really need
not to take away from Animal Crossing, but like a good reason for that is because of the timing.
They really need to change the content creator of the year thing. They really need to change that because they need to actually start including YouTuber content creator. They should put streamer, best streamer of the year. God, those are all streamers. They're not content creators. They're streamers. Like they don't really create content. They take a lot from like clips from their streams and then they put it on YouTube. That's not content creating. I'm sorry. PewDiePie has more validation than them. Like his streams may not be like as big as theirs, but his content creation is better.
Well, it's PewDiePie. I mean,
like the only
you're
ones
gonna pick a YouTuber. You're gonna pick the YouTuber.
Oh look, Animal Crossing best multiplayer. I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, but it's gonna be Among Us.
Yeah, it probably is gonna be Among Us.
It's gonna be Among Us.
See, Among Us is the exact opposite of a multiplayer game.
What? Which one?
Among Us. Like, but I think multiplayer. I don't think about the uniqueness that is Among Us. It's multiplayer in the sense of like you're playing with other people, you know, but like you know that's a good thing and a bad thing. We're all rolled up together.
But Among Us is basically all multiplayer.
Is it? Do they have a I guess they don't. Like it has to be. It's a mandatory multiplayer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah,
Okay.
it's all multiplayer. That's all it is. Like you can play with computers, but it's not as fun as going through with actual people.
How can they explain to me how the computer? I guess they just run around and just snap necks and just don't talk.
It doesn't work out. Let's just say that it just doesn't. It's
sure it doesn't.
purely for practice. That's all the CPUs are for. But
Right.
you want to play it.
Game.
I mean, you have to play it with humans and other people across the world. So, and if you've played Among Us, it's a damn good game. It's very, very, very social and psychological. Because you remember, it's one or two people that are actually or three that are imposters. You have to figure out who it is.
Oh god, when there's 3 imposters. I've not been a part of
But
that experience.
Animal Crossing did save people's lives, so
Again, that date.
best family game. Okay, it's not Crash
Yeah,
Bandicoot
Animal
4 as much as I want it to be.
Wait, what's the best family game? Animal Crossing?
It's Animal Crossing.
Crash 4 is up there as a nominee though.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot 4 is up there, but
As best family game?
yeah.
And Fall Guys too.
Okay, that's not right.
You heard me, Anima?
I did. But I don't necessarily, have a big opinion.
Condone.
That doesn't make any. Okay, best fighting game. I'm guessing they're talking about like games that came out this year. That's hard.
Well, Among Us didn't come out this year. That's what got me bothered. It just came up this year.
Yeah, it came up this year.
Yeah, it doesn't have to come out this year to be nominated for a game of the year, though.
True.
Oh, it doesn't?
Yeah,
I thought
Because
so.
it has to have an impact of the game. It has to have an impact of the year.
Yeah.
But if it is a situation of the game just came out versus it didn't, like it depends on the category. Some games have ongoing support like awards, so a new game can't have that be nominated for.
Here's an example: Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order didn't come out this year, and it's it's a best action adventure game. It's nominated for that. It's Ghost of Tsushima. It's Ghost of Tsushima, definitely, but like.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely not Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, and Neo's up there for a nomination as well. I'm trying to remember. Best action game? Is that you were just looking at it right there? What's the title? Yeah, best action. Yeah.
Neo 2? Yeah. Isn't that last year too? Wasn't that last year? I don't know. I don't follow Neo.
I think Neo 2 was earlier this year.
Okay. And what about Half-Life Alyx?
Yeah, I think that was like 2 years ago or last year.
I know Streets of Rage.
I don't think that was this
Streets of Rage 4 was great. But I don't know. Oh, Hades! Hades was so good!
I've so much about how good.
What is that game?
Hades!
Isometric top-down action game.
It's so good. It is so good. Like, story aside, like the story is pretty good too, but the action of it, it's a roguelike top-down action game where you play as a god by name of Zagreus who's trying to escape from Hades. And he has to fight his way from the bottom all the way back to the surface.
Oh, all the way from the ninth circle?
This is Hades. It's not hell. It's Hades. Hades has 4 levels.
Wait, but in Greek mythology, isn't Hades the...
Hades is the place and the name of the god.
Yeah, it's a Greek god.
Yes, Hades is the god, and Hades is also the place.
Well, I didn't say it was hell. I said it was Hades.
No, he was responding to me. I said, "What is you fighting from the ninth circle?"
Oh yeah, that's Dante.
Dante's Inferno.
Yeah,
Hey, Caleb.
Well, he fights
right.
into the knife circle though, because he's trying to save Beatrice. But you guys probably really mostly know that from the game, right? Did you ever actually read Dante's Inferno or like the?
Yeah, it's actually it's one giant poem basically.
Yeah, it's like a dark comedy or something weird. I forget what they.
And with his brother Virgil.
Yeah, Zagreus isn't. Zagreus is not a demigod. He's a full god.
So do we have anything else? I feel like 2 of us could cover the Game Awards right now. It's kind of a big topic.
Talking your mic.
Sorry. Does anybody have any like other things they want to talk about with these nominees? Because I almost talked about the Game Awards myself.
Let's see. I am, in terms of like Game of the Year though, it's oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at these nominees. Like, best performances was 2 of them is The Last of Us Part 2, and then it goes to Tsushima, and then there's Hades, and then there's
not the game itself. The actor for the
I know it's the actor, but like as in terms of performance, yeah, it might actually have to go to The Last of Us Part 2 because
it has to. So many people got angry.
Not that is their actual performance was good.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
the internet got so angry. The performance was that good.
Like if they get anything that fine,
and the
they
story
can get
was very divisive.
They can get best performance, right? But I don't think they should get any. Well, no, I don't think they should get anything else.
No, stop. They should. That game was good. People hated it, but it's good. If you have a villain that people literally give death threats to Laura Bailey for, that means your performance was peerless.
Oh no. That's not why they were given death threats. They for her being like, you know, the ultimate villain or anything. It's just the story was bad.
The story wasn't bad.
The story was divisive. Call it what it is.
No, the story was bad for me.
The story was not
bad.
It was just bad.
Like bad. I mean, I didn't like it. I didn't like it either. But like, it's not objectively bad.
Fine. Then I didn't like the story, which is the reason why I'm calling it bad.
There you go. It's not objectively bad. It's subjectively bad to all the people who are mad.
A game that divisive. I don't know. A game that divisive. Like, it just split the community apart, so it's hard to say like if that is Game of the Year material for me.
When you're able to cause controversy, I would kind of call that a decent, if not really.
Like,
I mean,
right? Like, what determines like good? Like, you know, like infamy isn't necessarily.
If
bad.
you have more positive than negative, then I would say that's above the divisive by a long shot. So like,
yeah, but
7 Remake.
Exactly 50-50.
Well, okay, 7 Remake was good. and it was mostly positive.
Mm-hmm.
Last of Us Part 2 was divisive. It was
made a lot of people angry too, though.
but it was more positive than it was making people angry. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but just because the game made people angry doesn't mean it was bad. It depends on what the game was about.
Okay, I already got people in my chat saying that Part 2 story was garbage. I'm just saying, like, if somebody said it was good for them.
Everybody thinks that, but it is not the truth. The story wasn't garbage. Now,
all right, it's a very opinionated and divisive. That's what I'm saying, and because of how divisive it was, that's what's like making it not really a contender for me personally as a game of the year.
I get it. Yeah. But I feel like the fact that Laura Bailey's Abby, or even if not her performance, but the story direction, was so controversial, it just goes to show that Naughty Dog did a big thing. It got enough people angry.
Okay,
Sometimes
I mean,
it's about getting somebody to react.
Okay, the actual writer of the story. What's his name?
Oh, you asking the wrong guy.
Because Laura Bailey was a great performer in the game. I will admit to that. That's what I have nothing against that. It's just I'm looking at the game as a whole in terms of like how it reflected across the entirety of the gaming sphere. And because of that, I don't know if it can be Game of the Year.
If it's in shockwaves like that, it may not get Game of the Year, but I definitely would give it to Laura Bailey's performance, for best performance, for getting everybody all ruffled up. Mostly because she's usually bashed for doing the same thing over and over again because she's got so many roles, and they're just like, oh, she always does the same thing, or she always plays the same character.
I don't think anybody's really going to be looking at that because nobody's going to look at that so deep. I think they're going to look at through the surface value of how she performed in Last of Us. Because people are actually kind of simple. I'm not saying that as a bad thing, but people are actually kind of simple when it comes down to like, oh, she performed that way in The Last of Us. Oh, that's great. Still, dislike or like is kind of opinionated on that whole entire game. That's the point of it. But we're going to have to move on.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
We're going to have to move on. Anybody have anything else they want to share?
We never talked about any other games, but I think it's appropriate that we talk the most about the game that had the biggest impact.
Genshin?
Yes.
Genshin Impact. So did you just start playing it, Anima?
No.
What are you talking about it?
No, I was just trolling.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry that I'm on push to talk. Let me take myself off.
So, is there anything you want to talk about, Anima?
Oh yeah, so my topic. Alright, so I was between a bunch of topics, as I usually am. And definitely don't want to have push to talk on while I'm doing my thing. So anyway. So I think the biggest thing I do want to talk about though, because it kind of won in the end, was the one thing that IGN actually got right. Let's talk about it. So there's a thing that IGN's been doing for a while now called Devs React to speedruns, and it's pretty crazy because you never really get the developer's perspective of what a speedrun really is doing to their hard, long years of work. And some of them are genuinely angry, and some of them are having the time of their lives. It's weird to see somebody both humiliated and like extremely amused at the same time. And so the one particular speedrun that I want to focus on, because there's two. There's the one for the demo, and then there's the actual game. So of course, spoilers if you go watch the video. But it's Crash Bandicoot 4. Now, these guys are incredible. Toys for Bob's actually took the helm of the Crash this time around, as opposed to Naughty Dog, the original, developers of the Crash Bandicoot series. But it wasn't bad. Let's talk about how, first of all, Crash Bandicoot 4, if you don't know what it is a true sequel to the original Crash trilogy that recently got its revamp in the form of the Insane... What is it? The Insane trilogy?
Yes.
Yeah. And everybody was talking about it was the Dark Souls of platformers. I'm just like, bruh, Crash came out before Dark Souls even existed.
Please, children, please.
Please, like, can we talk about how it first of all was hard for the time that it came out, but that was part of the course. Games were just harder back in the day, you know, and it wasn't even just because they wanted them to be harder. A lot of it had to do with hardware limitations. So when you think about NES games being as hard as they are, like, they originally were designed in the arcade fashion, and that the sense is the game's probably pretty short. So in order to make the game time run longer or to get more money out of these arcade machines, you made the game hard. You made it so that people couldn't just beat it and then be bored after a while. You know, it was a challenge. So back in the day, even back in the PS1 era, games weren't necessarily designed to be easy. There wasn't this whole figure of, oh, well, we got to make sure kids can see what's going on, get very clear instructions on what to do, and play the game. It wasn't about it, because originally arcade machines weren't built for kids. They're like, you must be this tall to ride type of deals. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that wasn't the demographic. So what's interesting is that there were games back in the day that a kid could pick up and play. As I found out, I have an easier time getting my 4-year-old Audrey to actually go and play Kirby from the SNES, because there's very comprehensive directions on how to do it, but there's also a lot of reading. She can't read, so the newer Kirby games just have pictures and then the button, and then you can just do it based off of that. But before, it was like you have to at least be able to read at a like 3rd grade level to play this game. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, that's kind of how it was. So back in the day, Crash Bandicoot, being a platformer, wasn't worried about, oh, is this too hard? Like, no, it was built around that. That's why Crash has like 1 million death animations. So for them to have brought a game back to life in the most true and honest way, in its aesthetic, the music, the animations, the story, the characters, and the difficulty, it has to be there. So, you know, when they brought it back, that was awesome. But light of this situation, and they're even get a point system. So like every time the speedrunner actually dies, they're just like, hey, so that point goes to Jared, I forget their names. He's just like, yeah, that one goes to me. He's like, all right, yeah. And then it's wild because they ended up having a point system based off of like what you can do. And then every time there's a massive exploit in the level, they're just like, all right, -5 points to Jared, so he's at -4 now. The main guy, I forget his name, he sounds just like H. John Benjamin, who is Archer, or I don't know, more probably recognizable as the guy from that one other show. I can't remember. I don't know. Who? Yeah, Bob, thank you. One guy sounds like him. He's just like, look, I told you in the last one, which was the demo, level design is simply a suggestion. And I was like, oh my god, I've never heard such truer development words. Because they know what it's about. Speedrunning is like how people find a way to break the game in the greatest way possible. And it's a whole entire movement. So like, I think that it was interesting seeing these guys have a lot of fun watching this guy play through the whole game. I don't think they watch every single stage on the video because it's kind of too long, I guess.
Yeah.
But if you're not afraid of spoilers, I definitely recommend checking out that Speedrunning Devs React. They have a whole series, and a lot of people have positively responded to the series. So even if you hate IGN, a lot of people are giving them props for this because it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I've been seeing like it's been popping up on my feed. My feed on YouTube, but I haven't watched it. I was like, huh, that's interesting. I might go look at that because I do want to see how some devs react to speedrunning strats and what people find and break and whatnot? Are they happy that they did? Are they upset that they did? Are they just amused that they did? Are they surprised?
It's a mix of both.
Yeah.
But you should. Oh wait, so I don't want to take your thunder. Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, that was it. That was it. Like mainly, I want to see Devs react in a good way. I don't want to see Devs get mad. I want to see them either get even, get surprised, or get even. Like, oh, that's awesome. I didn't even realize that hole was there. Now I'm about to go patch that so you have a harder time, or something like that.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where, like, there's the simple, like, story of Celeste. You know, now Celeste is a 2D platformer. That's a what do you call it? Precision platformer. And they're really, the devs of that game are really supportive of the speedrunning community. And so, Panic, you may know what I'm talking about when I mentioned, for instance, the demo dash.
Mm-hmm.
There was a like pixel perfect thing that you could use to get through it. Effectively would have been a straight up spiky wall that allows you to get to certain areas a little bit quicker. Well, they're just like, instead of hindering them when they find the exploits, they actually implemented the exploits into the level design for DLC for the hardcore.
But at the same time, you know what that takes though? That takes the developers to figure out how they did it, master it themselves, and test the game to see if their placements have worked properly.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, it's interesting you say that. I think there was a interview with the developers of Cuphead, and they were just like, Cuphead developers play their own stages, and so, like, the surprise of that was because, I mean, for whatever reason, we didn't think that they'd be able to play their own game, but they could play their own game very well. It's like how you make a stage in Mario Maker, and you know how to beat it really easily.
It's so
but
funny
maybe unless
too,
you're a
just 'cause
Kaizo masochist, you can't really beat
we're
it
seeing
until
an early
60
game
hours
right
later.
now.
But
And
the
when
thing
it's
is,
late,
like, I can play
like,
my stages just
no,
fine, but other people may not have the
no.
know-how that I have and
Right.
the wherewithal to
That's
really
so cool.
figure out how
That
to
was
do
my
it.
fault.
Like my
That was
maze on
so
my Animal
cool.
Crossing island. A lot of people get stuck in that maze. Last night was a bit of an exception because there was a literal game glitch happening where you just couldn't jump over one of the whole.
So right now on my stream, I'm watching the speed run, and they just got to the part where the speedrunner basically like skipped a whole section in the pirate stage. The devs are just like, "Oh, that's my fault. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't see it."
He was like, "Yo, that was some Tony Hawk Pro Skater type stuff right there."
They're all like, "How did we miss that?"
Bruh, it gets worse when you realize that, like, there's an exploit where you can and this is full on spoiler, Akano, the mask that lets you do the gravity spin, there's a whole exploit where he can skip the trigger that takes it off and he can use it for the rest of the stage. And they're like, "Oh, boo." And then they like proceed the wall run with the mask, and one guy was like, "Was that a wall run with the mask? Like, what is even going on right now?" It's like they're both impressed, and then they're just like jokingly like booing the guy. And every time he dies or trips up, they're just like, "Yeah!" They're like cheering. It's so fun to watch. You guys definitely have to check it out. I'll give you guys a link. It's also
it's in the Discord.
Yeah, well, I'll put the put it there, but I'll put the link in my chat as well.
It's funny. It's fun to watch because it's like their hearts are being broken one by one because the speedrunner is literally breaking their game. And they're just like, "Yeah, every time we take his life, yeah," but like, you know, a few seconds later he breaks their game again, and they're just like, "Boo. You suck." Like, they really need to hire like speedrunners for their games or something.
Yeah, they do.
I'm surprised they don't.
No, them doing it themselves is way more entertaining than life.
No, he means like to help find the exploits. Like there are people who like literally hunt for glitches, exploits, stuff like that in games, just so the game can get a faster time in speedrunning. Like, there is a whole community dedicated to hunting for this stuff. That's who the devs need to hire. And Anima, what you said about Celeste earlier, Like, in terms of like you said another game, but the devs being able to play their game, yeah, you should expect that, obviously, because they made it. They have to be able to make sure it works properly. But at the same time, when with what I just said, when you have hunters finding new strats, the devs have to master that. Like, that's if they didn't know that the strat was there, but the devs have to master that. So I actually give mad props to the Celeste team to when the speedrunners found the that dash strat, the devs had to figure out how to do it, consistently do it, then make levels around doing it, and test it to make sure that things were in a proper place. Because you start doing that, then things get a little iffy, and then the level gets like undoable, unbeatable. So you really have to be careful with that. So I give them mad props for that.
That is true. I think that like so many people, man, bang their head against the wall in Celeste on those like DLC stages, man, because there's still challenges even further beyond where you have the and this is another spoiler for anybody who's looking to play Celeste, but the Golden Berry, where you can't die at once, or like even more crazy than that is like getting all the berries in the stage and then keeping them until the end of the stage, meaning you can't sit still for too long. Some Mad Lad actually did that. He actually kept all the berries and got the 1-up as well as the Golden Berry in the last DLC run, and a deathless run for a speed run, mind you, at the same time. I was just like, what is this? Like, people go so far and beyond, and I think that's because Celeste catered to that. It truly created one of the craziest runs that you could possibly watch. But you have to be there. You have to get it. You have to be into the game and understand what really makes it tick, to understand why it was so crazy. I think that's a lot of fun to watch and understand.
Yeah.
A lot of respect in the speedrun community.
And it helps when you watch speedruns, even if you don't understand what's going on. As long as the speedrunners are explaining it, like GDQ. I'm probably going to put a lot of people on who don't know about this already, but GDQ is a whole speedrunning community that's for donating to charity. So you get on stream, you can win prizes as long as you donate. When you donate, you're put into a nomination to win things like systems, plushies, like self-made plushies, stuff like that. Hyrulean shields, you name it. But when they go onto here and they start doing their speedruns, during the speedrun they'll explain what's going on, why it's going on, and what's allowing the exploit to happen. So hearing all that actually gives you insight to why what they're doing is so good, as well as how hard it actually is to do it, if it is hard.
So that being said, I probably really should get back to like Sonic 3 and see if I can find exploits.
Ooh, Sonic 3's probably had all of it found by now, as old as it is.
There's still exploits that can be found. But the point of it is like turning that into a speed run, because if we're talking about like Crash Bandicoot 4, which at this point I love Crash Bandicoot 4, but it's like 100%ing that is a nightmare. Speedrunning it shouldn't be that much of a nightmare.
Wait, so Crash Bandicoot 4 doesn't have 104%?
It has 104%, but I said completing that is a nightmare.
Oh yeah, it's definitely up there with like persistent platformers. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It is, and
how hard it is to actually just play, let alone speedrun or like get those like relics for. And I'm not gonna talk about the ones
the insane perfect relics.
Yeah, that game definitely has a lot of replay value. So if you guys haven't, pick up Crash Bandicoot 4 today. I'm totally not sponsored by Activision.
He's like, hint, hint, Activision, hint, hint, Activision, hint, hint, Activision.
Activision made look, every so often you get a rare win, and this is a weird pseudo win of Activision and IGN. Isn't that wild?
It is.
It's like, wait, we're watching a video of an Activision game being responded on an IGN. You're gonna have to swallow some pride a little bit to
To be like, hey, Activision, you actually did okay.
Yeah, they really did with Crash Bandicoot 4. I'm in love with the fact that they completely. If you ever played the original games as well, do absolutely give Crash Bandicoot 4 a try. And mute, what is going on?
Yeah, I don't know. I put him on mute for a little bit.
Yeah, we can mute. Mute him. Mute him. Silence name. We can't do it from here, can we?
Well, no, I don't think.
I did it.
I just put his volume down to like 0. So
I had to mute the man.
Nah, he's still gonna be heard on the stream.
Oh, and sync stream. Oh, yeah, dang. Just hit mute on his icon. I know. So Sync Weaver. I mean, not Sync Weaver. Skeptic is actually in the middle of closing a home, guys. So you have to forgive him.
yeah.
He's really busy with his adulting. He
So,
had somebody knock. It's important.
I was debating real hard what I was going to talk about in terms of what I was going to do. I know I put like another topic in the Discord where I was like, man, this game is great. Everybody should play it. But I think there's something else that we should talk about.
Talking about the current state of bronies. I know that you're still part of the Brony Club, right?
Yeah, I know. But, that was supposed to be a secret anime. I don't know why you're talking about it right now, you piece of shit.
Busting your balls, dude.
No, you get out of my brony community. You're not allowed here.
All right, I'm cool. Hey, listen, I like Terra Strong too. Okay, there's nothing wrong with Terra Strong voicing a pony. It's really good stuff. I'm just saying.
Get out of my community, man. You're not allowed to be here, man.
Timmy Turner. I mean, I like Fairly Odd Parents.
But no. What I wanted to talk about, other than what I put up in the Discord, is I had this as like my secondary, but I think this is more important. So there was an incident that happened between Nintendo and a tournament that happened. Do you guys know about that?
Yes. Hashtag. I won't spoil it.
So there was a Super Smash Bros. Melee tournament that was supposed to be going on. It didn't happen because Nintendo put a cease and desist. For half of it is a good reason. Yeah, it's about Smash. Half of it is a good reason for it to have been put down, because you don't know if they're playing with legal copies, because they have to use an emulator in order for this to work. And emulators are actually legal. They're not the actual console, they're actually programs. So they can just play the games. However, the game itself, I don't know, I think they're pulling BS out of their behind when they say they're using illegitimate copies of the game. You can actually use legit copies of the game to play on the Dolphin, which is the GameCube emulator. But what I think they're trying to stop was this thing called the Slippy Project, or Project Slippy, which allows people who play Super Smash Bros. Melee to play online. And that in itself kind of upset the entire community, if not the whole Smash community. And Nintendo wanted to not stop the emulator, not the emulator itself. They didn't talk about that, but they wanted to stop the piracy of their game and Project Slippy from being hosted at this tournament. So Slippy, by the way, is better online than what Nintendo has to offer, because Nintendo still has this, we have to create it ourselves mentality, but whatever they create is subpar. And they don't do online very well when it comes to Super Smash Brothers. And
no,
their online in general is actually not that great.
I didn't like that they were trying to like cover up the fact that latency was happening because of poor internet netcode, and that they were just trying to like blame it on the game or the players or something weird, like during one of their live events. That was pretty sickening.
That was that was actually, that's Nintendo's business side there. Like,
say that again?
They effectively had their commentators, their live commentators, saying things that weren't true about what was going on with the netcode in order to cover up that the online experience was subpar, and were instead blaming it on the game or like the players or something weird. they were basically, because the game lagged during the tournament while they were live, and they just acted like, oh, well, that just happens, or something along the lines of like, just like that was like a glitch or something in the game. I was just like, no, that was incredibly false. Nintendo's community interaction was not at its best that day, and the community basically flamed the heck out of Nintendo for that, because it was embarrassing, honestly, for them to just kind of try and cover it up like that. I gotta find a video about that, but in the meantime, I'm gonna find Lay It On Me, because he talked about this pretty well.
Yeah. So what it comes down to is that Nintendo did another stupid Nintendo thing where they stopped a tournament from happening, and they had no financial gain from doing this at all. There was no loss of any kind of name or any kind of productivity or anything like that. They would have lost, because they're not making Melee copies anymore. They've stopped. They're not selling Melee for any reason. They're not even selling, like, if they were going to sell like Melee on the Nintendo eShop, I could understand. And that's just they don't tell anybody that they're going to do that. So, like, remember when they stopped AM2R? The reason why they stopped AM2R is because they were making their own Metroid 2 remake in their own fashion, which is fine in its own. That game was alright. Still like AM2R better, but that game was alright.
I'm still mad that they stopped Mario 99 to like make their own Mario 35.
Which is,
it was one thing that they just stopped it, which I can understand. It was another that they made their own version of it now, and then made it limited. That kind of made me upset.
Yeah, they made it because you only get to play it till a certain point, and then it'll just their business practice makes no sense, and it's really upsetting a lot of people. Like, for one thing, you can't get what was it? The Mario, like, what was it? The
3D
Mario
All-Stars?
All-Stars? Yeah, the
It's
Mario
not
All-Stars.
Available for digital release after a certain period of time, the same exact period of time that Mario 35 is available exactly. It's like, I don't know, like March 31st or something.
Yeah. So if you don't get Mario 35 by that point, it's gone.
If you don't play it, because it's free to play on their online service, but like I still think that's kind of a joke.
Oh no, Mario 35 or
No, 35
All-Stars
and All-Stars are gonna both go away.
You still have to pay for All-Stars. Even if
you do have to, and it's $60 freaking dollars.
Right. And they're making it limited for whatever reason. So I don't understand what's in their heads for doing this. I don't understand what their practice is for doing this, but it's anti-consumer by all rights. And they're getting free. They literally get more people into the Smash scene when it comes to these tournaments and Melee tournaments, because some people see Super Smash Brothers as like just a regular party game, and then they see the competitive side and they're like, oh, maybe I should go balls in terms of like a fighting game community. Because when you talk about Super Smash Brothers, for the most part, the loudest community are the ones who are more competitive, not the ones who are casual. And of course, you can play the game casually, but even casual people would sit there and like to watch something competitive, see how competitive a Smash team can get. But Nintendo, being Nintendo, want to have control over that in some form or fashion. Kind of like what they have. They have pretty much almost full control over the Splatoon community, because their names are slapped on and they like fund it and host their major tournaments. And the same thing with ARMS, but nobody really plays ARMS. And then you have I think Splatoon and ARMS are really the most, but they had a Pokken tournament one too, and where's that? Because it was hosted by Nintendo, it was controlled by Nintendo. It's not talked about. Because they have full control over it, and they really have a stranglehold on both those, and both of those. And Splatoon especially, Splatoon is probably the only one that really has like some sort of freedom, because people like Splatoon, and people really like the community itself try to get into Splatoon real well. But Smash has always been by themselves. And Nintendo just slaps their name on some of their tournaments. They don't really give any money to it. They don't host it. They say that they host both official tournaments and their own tournaments, which is a lie. They don't, because they put no money into it whatsoever. So they lied. Nintendo is just I don't know what's going on. It's like ever since bless his soul Iwata passed, it's been just one stupid thing after another. Like
honestly, Iwata's passing probably has a lot more to do with like the Pokemon community falling apart. I mean, not the community, the Pokemon like support. That boy was really about it when it came to the Pokemon side of things, and Game Freak, you know, like they weren't cutting so many corners. But like, yeah, Iwata's passing definitely has a lot to do with it, but Nintendo's always been a little out of touch when it came to a lot of things.
I mean, at least with Iwata, right? He was literally talking within the community because he encouraged it. So Sakurai went into the reason why Sakurai started hosting like tournaments for like new Smash games was because Iwata was like, maybe you should do this. Sakurai was like, okay. Because Iwata, I think Iwata was a big influence within the company, and everybody knows this. But
yeah, you know something? That man took personal pay cuts. He like skimmed his own pay whenever something didn't launch very well. I'm pretty sure that's what happened with the Wii U. When they took that L financially, he came out of pocket with his own finances to make sure that like the company was okay. That takes a lot of heart.
Yeah, and the community itself is up in an uproar saying like free Melee. Again, we're going back to when Nintendo, I mean, they didn't, back in the day, they didn't listen to us a lot, but at the very least, they knew things and they communicated in some form or fashion.
Yeah, I think a lot of that also had to do with Reggie.
Yeah, but and Reggie may have had like an influence in that too. But it's not like Reggie left Nintendo on bad terms. No, he left on his own accord, and he left on a positive note.
But it was his time. I mean, he just needed to spend more time with his family and stuff.
Oh, he went right back to work. He's trying to fix GameStop right now.
What?
Yeah, because he cares about the game community.
He's trying to fix GameStop. He became one of the presidents of GameStop.
Oh my goodness.
That's actually a huge topic, bro. Why did you leave with
seriously? Are you serious?
Like
this is a topic.
Are you kidding me?
Yo, I'm surprised you guys first heard about this. This was months ago when he.
I don't keep up, dude. This is like news for me too.
This was months ago. What? Yeah, Reggie actually went back to work to go ahead and try to see what's going on with GameStop. And what's going on with GameStop is that their business side is just bad. So Reggie's just trying to sit there and he's trying to figure out like what's going on with that. And that's why he went over there. I'm pretty sure of that. However, I mean, as much as I want to talk about how Reggie and Nintendo and all that other good stuff, it's not really recent news.
It doesn't matter.
I wanted to talk about something that was happening like right around here. What's happening right around here is that one of Melee's biggest tournaments was shut down. And their business side is what's reflective of how they're actually acting nowadays. Like shutting down Melee, I think they shut down one of the biggest projects, which is like basically good online. Which is what Project Slippy was. Project Slippy was good online.
It was. Honestly, like, rollback netcode is probably the best thing to happen to netcode since netcode itself.
It's weird. It's weird, though, because it's like... Nintendo knows that when it comes to the West, their online is horrible. But they are so... They're, like, so... enclosed, like they don't really take outside advice, they're so enclosed that if somebody comes up with something better than theirs outside the company, they try to make it themselves in-house, and a lot of the times it doesn't come out the right way. So it becomes like some half-par Frankenstein monster, something that had like some sort of effort into it, but it's not robot netcoding. It's just some sort of better delay-based netcoding. And delay-based netcoding is not what's helping anybody online right now. Like, the people, did you know from the people who make Guilty Gear, they hired one person outside their company, right, who modded their game to have better online. They hired him to fix their netcoding. Did you know that?
That's pretty cool. I did not know that.
Yeah. That's on the Guilty Gear side, and Guilty Gear's Japanese, so that's really big. Like, that's really big. And really, what all these Japanese game companies are trying to do they're trying to match Mortal Kombat 11, which has the best netcoding in terms of all fighting games. And Mortal Kombat is an American-based fighting game.
I see a trend there.
Listen, America doesn't always get it right.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, this specific one, when it comes to netcoding, networking.
Well, I think part of it is because Japan is not in that kind of area. They're so close knit.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I see.
The fact that left and right stuff, it's not the left and right. There's no really left and right in terms of this. We're talking about
For
area.
Nintendo?
Yeah, for Nintendo. I don't know if there's like a left and right kind of thing with this. It's more or less like, what is the big shots willing to listen to? Because Nintendo of America can suggest all these things, but Japan's HQ, they're the ones who control everything, and they're like, yes, no, maybe, no, maybe, no. Nintendo of America, who are actually listening, right? It's not their fault. They put out the advice, but it's like, nobody wants to listen to them.
Yeah, sometimes the people in charge just kind of stop any good sense from actually being implemented. That is the true thing. Sometimes it's not the left and right versus it's the top versus the bottom more so, you know?
Right.
Like, it's an interesting dynamic where the people know what's good. It's like, all right, so Sonic has always been an interesting topic, and we're not going to go too far into it, but the idea that one of the major decision makers decided to finally give it a shot to have some modders come in and make a new game based off of the original the original trilogy of Sonic is like a huge leap forward. But it wasn't like everybody in Sega was against it until this one person said, all right, you know. And it's another thing with how many of with the Abridged series with Dragon Ball Z, many of the people in the development in Koei and all them, like, they love the Abridged series, but a few of them weren't really, like the heads, you know, if it's a for-profit situation, investors aren't really happy about it, and then they give grief. It's like, it's usually a top-down effect. And only one of the voice actors, which was the voice actor for Goku himself, was really super anti-Abridged series, but literally everyone else, like Christopher Sabat, loves the stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and he's the voice of Piccolo, and among other people. You know, like, not every single person has the issue, but usually the key players are the ones who are just like, look, this is messing with my money, and they'll be sorry, and then they just kind of like bring the hammer down. It's not necessarily to everyone's joy.
I feel like you should just capitalize on it. Like, your fans fucking love it, and the reason they love it is because of you. Like, okay. So if we're talking about DBZ, the Abridged series, yeah, people who don't know Dragon Ball Z will probably like it because it's just that good. But like most of their fans are fans of DBZ, so why not just give these people a job?
I don't know.
profit from it. I don't understand.
It's the same reason why it's just older generation people are just so traditional about how things should be run that their belief system's all messed up. They haven't really capitalized on what's effectively working today versus what has always worked. And you know that that's prevalent in a lot of communities and a lot of places all over the world.
Yeah.
You know, some people just refuse to adapt to change. Let's look at Blockbuster. Oh yeah, there's so many companies out here suffering. Like, look at Toys R Us, bro.
Yo, there's only one Blockbuster left,
and it's in Canada.
Yeah, it's only one Blockbuster left, dude.
It's a whole 10th wonder of the world. Where are we at? We have like so many 9th wonders. I think it's like the 28th wonder of the world. It's up there.
So, I mean, it's really the game companies versus the people who make their shit better, and whether or not they actually want to take those talents and utilize it. You have people like Sega was probably the most. They were probably the most like either they gave up or they're the most like smart out of all this, because at the end of the day, Sonic Mania is a thing. And Sonic Mania wouldn't probably have been a thing if it wasn't for people like Christian Whitehead, who was originally a modder, or people from Headcanon, who were modders. And they modded Sonic to the point where they even fixed their games by themselves. And they took that talent and then said, hey, do you want to make a Sonic game? And they're like, yeah. Sonic Mania came out, and how much praise did they get? A lot.
A lot. And then they slightly messed it up with
Sonic
Forces.
It was the people they hired off the cuff as basically as like freelance workers compared to their in-house, and the freelance workers won. Yeah, it's a shame.
And Forces wasn't by any means a horrible game. It was just compared to Sonic Mania. It wasn't it. And with Forces, they tried to redo Generations, which Generations was a great game, but Forces just didn't do it the same. So,
yeah. Well, we'll see as more people realize that fan community with talent plus hire equals profit. You know, more people will probably catch on to that trend, because T. Lopez is killing it with Jun Sonoe right now in terms of, oh yeah, this guy was making music for, you know, all these fan projects. Now then Sega or Sonic the Hedgehog's channel drops music with T. Lopez and Jun Sonoe, all these remixes of old games. It's amazing. So at least go check out Sonic the Hedgehog social media. They're killing it right now. Another video that I put in the Discord was actually Shadow the Hedgehog, a series they did where they literally just dressed up a dog in a Shadow the Hedgehog outfit and did voiceovers with the characters. It's cute, but it's wild. I don't even. Sonic the Hedgehog is very self-aware in their social media, so check them out.
It's almost like the community is what drives these games to be so popular or something.
You don't say.
Nintendo, you might want to. I'm just looking at this. Like, Nintendo, out of the 3 majorly hosted and sponsored tournaments that they come out, Splatoon being their best one, but it's not even as good, right? It's not even as good as what they want it to be. 2 of them is not even good. Like, I guess you could say that it's kind of failing, which is Pokken Tournament, which you probably didn't even know. ARMS, which that died. So Splatoon is the one they really have, and sometimes they try to do ARMS again, but it doesn't work out at all. And then there's Smash Brothers, which they slap their names on, but they don't want to be in cahoots with that kind of community for whatever reason. I can't fathom why. I can't. Their game has become the best fighting game of all time, yet they don't want to touch it in terms of their community and competitiveness. I don't understand.
Yeah, well, you know, once all the older guys die out and we take over, it'll be alright.
once all the old people are gone.
Now's our chance. Oh gosh.
I mean, as true as that may
gotta
be.
make light of it for now. I know, right? I mean, sheesh. Look, I'm waiting for the whole world to get turned over to the millennials. Like, I think we'll be the ones to make it right. I feel like, at the very least, starting with maybe the one below us, like not like below us in age, but like one before us, is where it's really gonna get hype. But the millennials, man, we work hard and we have fun. We play hard, we work hard. So I feel like we're definitely gonna be. We're gonna bring out at least a little bit different way of management and leadership, because we understand a little bit more about the mind, and so maybe, just maybe, through time we'll see some change.
Sync.
Yeah,
Messenger.
I did. I saw it. I saw it. So, with that being said, guys,
Yee.
we have come to the end of our simple little podcast here. If you guys want to catch us next time, it's 10:30 Sunday all the time, Eastern Standard Time. No sponsors yet. If anybody's wondering or pondering or happen to see this, we'd love to have a sponsor. It's just putting that out there.
Look, we'll earn it through the sheer talent of our show.
Right. So let's just say we're open for business. I'd say we are open for business. But gents, thank you for joining me today.
Us? Damn. Oh, us. Us joining you. Gotcha.
Yes. And one of us would.
Yeah, I did too.
One of us is preoccupied with something else right now, so they can't say their goodbyes either. But I'm sure he would say, goodbye and farewell just all the same. You guys want to again catch us next week? We are here Sunday, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time AM.
Okay. Skeptic, are you
Sorry,
back?
I just smashed a spider on the table. It was freaking me out.
Oh, were you talking and I was talking over you at all?
No, I literally smashed a spider and it was freaking me out.
Oh, somebody let me know.
Says
What?
someone who's right in the village.
Anima and I are going to be doing an after stream. Well, I'm doing a stream after this. Anima's doing an after stream. If you want to go over to his channel and check out his stuff and see what he's doing, I'll be posting a link in my channel so that you guys can go and check him out.
Alright, bet. Yo, don't be afraid. Like, I don't really care if our podcast has like cues to what we're doing behind the scenes. Like, trust me, I've heard from user feedback that people actually appreciate the transparency. So if you guys need to tell me to unmute Mark because I'm literally talking over him because I can't hear him on my end, just let me know. Just be like, yo, James. Yeah, you completely snuffed out your boy. I'm like, oh, he's back.
All right.
My bad. I'm sorry. I wanted to know your opinion of most of the stuff we were talking about, honestly. But yeah. All right. So after party, guys. I already got like a bunch of people on my stream, so
Wait,
what's up?
something came up.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Seems Nintendo did put out a response to all this.
Yeah, I put it in the maybe I didn't put it in the messenger, but here you go.
I didn't see that. Where's that response?
It's laid on me. He did it. He talked about it. Booyah!
Wait, hold on. Are we still streaming? Like streaming?
Yeah, we're still
Yeah.
streaming. So
Okay, gotcha.
it would
So
be
if you're
fair.
still on.
It would be fair to actually show this on screen.
I just can't hear it.
You want to hear it?
Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, no. They sent a cease and desist. Okay,
What?
but Nintendo officially made a response, right? Oh, there it is. Okay. So, well, this is something. Nintendo appreciates the love and dedication the fighting game community has for the Super Smash Bros. Series.
Do they? Do they?
Not really sure if they do. We have partnered with numerous Super Smash Bros. Tournaments in the past and have hosted our own online and offline tournament for the game. That's a lie. And we plan to continue that support in the future. Okay, half of that is a lie. So
Most of that is a lie.
they have not really partnered. They've slapped their names onto their tournaments and have not given nothing to it. They've just given their consent to have the tournament be up. That is it. And that's what that translates to. Unfortunately, the upcoming Big House tournament announced plans to host an online tournament for Super Smash Bros. Melee that requires the use of an illegal copied version of the game in conjunction with the mod called Slippy during their own events. I talked about that. They thought that they don't. I don't know if they know this, but not everybody has like an illegal copy of the game.
Yeah, everybody got like 8 copies of Melee. Let's not even talk about it.
Like people bought your game. What do you think this? How do you know that it's an illegal copy? Let's think about that first.
Nah, look, you're all late to the party, bro. I put a link into the late Omni. We do have to end the podcast. He talks about it. He puts a pretty good spin on everything.
Nintendo therefore contact.
We'll talk about it later, though. We're way past time on that topic.
They
you
refuse
know that,
to
right?
leave. Basically, Nintendo's bullshitting.
They are. We already knew that, though.
Listen, they need to buckle up the chin straps. Deal with it.
But in this case, yeah, it's time to close. We'll see you guys later. Go check out Anima. He's streaming right now.
Oh yeah, we got a multi-stream.
Do it. Do it now.
Do it now.
You know. Oh, by the
Right
way,
now.
Skeptic, plug your stuff. We had to plug it for you last time.
Well, like literally or verbally?
Yeah, everybody do your plugs. Shamelessly.
Okay. Second. Uno momento. Shameless plug.
Shameless
No.
plug.
Our shameless
Proud plug. Proud plug. Let's see.
Proud plug.
Oh no. Everyone enjoying their Sunday?
Yeah. It just started.
I want the new Hyrule Warriors like badly.
What?
Oh,
Calamity dropped.
The Calamity Ganon prequel
Ye-
Dynasty.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I kind of want that like badly.
You gotta get a Switch, man.
I'm aware.
And then we can all sit in my little Animal Crossing set.
Or we
then
can all play
of
Hyrule
that-
Warriors and mess stuff up.
But it's not a multiplayer game online.
Are you kidding me?
It's only
Please
2
tell me-
players local. It's only 2 players local, buddy.
Why Nintendo?
Nintendo!
Alright.
That's
Why are we
it.
still
I'm turning
here?
off Animal Crossing and playing Smash. Wait. I can't stop supporting Nintendo!
Oh my god. Why?
Alright, guys.
Pac-Man's cool.
I got a
Oh, wait,
love
Echo Bandai, no! Alright,
Okay,
guys.
too.
Alright, guys.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody!
See you next Sunday.
Yes. See you next time on Apartment 814, where we completely disorganizedly end our stream.